Hey movers, welcome back to another Movement Monday. For today's class, it's going to be all about stretching, releasing any tension that your body might have. Full body, this is going to take us about 30 minutes to get through, give or take. We're going to start off with some footwork, and I like to go heavier with my footwork, especially when I know that if we go heavier, then we can strengthen those muscles, get them warmed up so we can loosen them a little better. So I've got two reds, a blue, and a green on. Let's start down onto our backs. Take the feet wide, resting there for a moment and taking those big diaphragmatic breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel any tension from the face, the shoulders, the neck, releasing. If you'd like to, open the arms out to the side, maybe windshield wiper the legs side to side or grab onto the pegs or the shoulder blocks. You could even try to grab underneath of the reformer. Don't push it, but just find where your limits are. And that doesn't feel so good in my left arm, so I'm just going to go back to holding on to and pulling apart those pegs. One more right twist, if you're taking that option. Really pushing that left knee towards the foot bar, and then one more to the left. Really pressing and reaching that right knee towards the foot bar. You'll take the heels onto the foot bar, keeping them wide, and really try to pull those knees apart so that we press out and in for 8. Feel how those shoulder blocks press the shoulders down away from the ears. I like to exhale home, inhale out. 5, 4, 3, each time coming home, opening those knees wider. 2, and then last one. Holding at that halfway point and pulse. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press all the way out, and then walk down onto the toes, onto that foot bar, lower and lift those heels. Then bend and stretch those knees in and out. 7 more, 8 total. Allow this to be an opportunity for you to check in with the body, to give yourself a body scan. Try to feel or hear or notice any snap, crackles, and pops that may be happening with the body. Open up into that space. Give yourself permission to relax, to release, to allow. 3 more. We'll stay out on our last one. So we got 2 more there. And then hold out, last one. Drop both heels under first and then prance. This is very similar to Peter Pan, where one knee will bend as the other leg stays long. But make sure that those hip points or those hips don't sway as I'm demoing here side to side. That puts extra pressure into your back that we definitely don't want. Lift up, pull home, and then windshield wiper again, side to side. Awesome. Okay, heels together, toes apart, Pilates V. Draw the hands up towards the ceiling so the back of your hands are pressing into the carriage. Now make sure that the ribs aren't flaring open. They're staying wrapped in. 7, 6. Try to feel those outer glutes, inner thighs working together to keep that pelvis neutral and spine strong and long. Last 3, 2, and 1. Come home and place the sides of your feet onto the foot bar, on top of the foot bar, into a butterfly position. Make sure your headrest is down flat as we prepare to bridge. Scooch away from the shoulder blocks just a smidge so they're not jammed up into the body. And still with the palms up, back of the hands pressing into the carriage, round yourself up into that butterfly bridge, holding at the top and then pulsing those hips up and down 8 times. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll yourself back down, really trying to feel one bone at a time, laying itself, relaxing itself, and then lifting it off of the mat again. Pulse again for 8. Down an inch, up an inch. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll yourself back down. We do that one more time, up, articulating one bone, one piece, one segment at a time for 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, and roll your way back down onto the carriage. Bring those knees together, heels together, toes up. Scoot yourself back up against those shoulder blocks and press and pull 8 more times, keeping that neutral spine position. So if you put your hands on your hips, like you're like, I want to talk to your manager, 4 more. Keep those hip points straight up towards the ceiling for 3, 2, hold out, last 1. So now you're holding onto those hips, put all of your weight into your left leg and make sure that that right hip does not shift. Right heel down, left leg up. Continue moving from side to side. And with the fingertips on your hips, like walk them towards the belly button so you can feel how much your lower abdominals are working to keep that core and pelvis position. Core is turned on, engaged strong, and that pelvis position remains. 1 more on the right. 1 more, on the left. Pull yourself back home, keeping the feet together. Grab back for your shoulder blocks or pegs, and this time windshield wiper to the left. Ooh, you will lose connection with your right foot and right hip, and then stack in the other direction. Oh, so good. Arms towards the ceiling, feet stay on the foot bar. Curl yourself up into your chest lifted position and hold, starting to pump through your 100. We'll just do 50 here though. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, in, lift the legs. Exhale, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, hold. Inhale, lower the legs. Exhale, lift. 1 more round. Exhale, lift. Hug the knees into the chest, but keep your chest lifted position to then go into your single leg stretch. Really pushing whichever leg is out away from you as you pull that other knee in towards you, not because your arms are working, but because your core is pulling that leg and helping to control that reach of the leg. Soften the neck, soften the shoulders. 4 more. Each side. Last 2 and 1. Feet down, head down, rest down, windshield wiper again, side to side. Grab back again onto the shoulder blocks or the pegs. And then scooch away from your shoulder blocks, especially if you're holding onto them. Elbows are in your periphery vision. It's almost like you're trying to like pop the shoulder blocks or the pegs off of the carriage. Wrap the ribs, connect to the deep core, lift the pelvic floor, and then lift the legs, float them to tabletop. Squeeze everything together and then rock from side to side, keeping those elbows in your periphery vision. If this feels too challenging, tuck the knees in closer towards the chest. Otherwise, keep those knees above the hips. You want a little bit more challenge, work your way into that full windshield wiper. 2 more to the right. And to the left. 1 more. Right. And left. All right, take those feet back down this time. Open them out wide. Open your arms out as well. And then practicing your roll-ups 1 leg at a time, straighten out over the foot bar, arms towards the ceiling. Just that energy that you worked into finding that chest or that 100 position. You curl yourself up, reaching, rolling over that foot bar, taking those legs into your hands. Find that deep stretch through the back line. And then while you're tipped forward, go ahead and take off all of your springs except for 1 single red. And so depending on how your springs are set up, try to leave the red spring that's loaded up in the middle-ish of your reformer. And take the right leg into the strap, keeping those hips level with each other. So find that, again, hands on hips, and then bend and stretch through that left knee in order to lift and then lower that right leg. Okay, so right now it's the left leg that is controlling the movement and the right leg that's kind of just along for the ride. But then you're going to press that right leg all the way down, reaching those legs next to each other, and then lifting that right leg up, reaching the left foot towards the foot bar. Just 4 of those. Squeezing those legs together, getting that strong adductor, your inner thigh strength to help to lift up, pull in with your pelvic floor. Then when your left foot comes to the foot bar, take it wide so then your right leg goes out wide to the right side. We're going to continue that same pattern, but first just keeping that left foot anchored for 4, 3, right leg opening wide, 2, And now after this last one, you're gonna jump away from that foot bar, bring the legs back together under the hips. If you need to, you can hold on to the shoulder blocks, but then reach that foot back to the foot bar, right leg opens wide. Exhale, push both legs together or pull both legs together. 2 more. And then last one. And then as that right or left leg comes back to the foot bar, keep it long. Your right leg is lifted, your hip is sinking down towards that foot bar. Bring it across the body towards the left. You will lose that connection of the hip. And now try to reach through the heel of the foot, pull back with the toes of the foot, and sink that hip towards the foot bar. Not back onto the carriage, but down away from your rib cage. You can soften into that right knee to find a different kind of stretch into sort of like outer hip piriformis. But otherwise, if that leg is straight, you might feel it like down the whole side or back side of the leg into the low back. Reach that right leg up, push it down so you can bring your left ankle to your right thigh. Push with your left hand onto that knee. You can kind of glide that strap back with you with your right hand. But make sure again that those hips don't come out of alignment. You're not sinking into the spine. You're still working to maintain that core engagement, that awareness of where you're at. And then finally, you're gonna push that right leg out, lift it up as the left leg goes down into the well. This is why we needed that red spring loaded up on the middle, so that when your right leg either lifts up or out, that left leg goes down into the well to help to release any tension in the front of your hip. If you're feeling this at all in the low back, come out of it first, okay? Maybe foot comes to the platform instead. But make sure that you're not trying to arch away from the carriage. So scoop your tailbone underneath of you, strong core engagement, and then keeping that engagement, try to lower yourself down into that well. So the more that you are curling through and releasing through the front, and the more activity that we're working for that stretch, the more that you have to work for that stretch. All right, push the right leg down to then lift the left leg up. We switch out to our left strap. Left leg tall, find that hip alignment. Work through connecting to the back line of your leg, okay? Right where the thigh and the butt connect, your thut, or maybe your thas, okay? Core is engaged, pelvic floor is lifted. Bend your right knee to lift that left leg. Ooh, this side is like way tighter on me, so my range of motion is much more limited. That's okay. 3 more, or that's 3, here's 4. Okay, so now bending your right leg, push off of the foot bar to lower the left, lift the left, and then bend into your right. We do that one more time. Legs cinch up together, and now your right leg goes a little wider onto that foot bar as your left leg opens, ooh la la, out to the side. And maybe you hold this stretch, or maybe you go out and in 4 times. 3 and 4. So then bending the right knee, opening that left leg. I have to hold on to those shoulder blocks here to really feel the first engagement when you press off of the right leg and squeeze those heels together. Click the heels together. There's no place like home. That's 3. 1 more for 4. Lift that left leg, lower the right. Keep the right foot long, right leg long onto the foot bar, and reach that left leg across the body. Try to sink or anchor your left hip towards the foot bar as you reach through the heel, pull back through the toes, and then maybe you bend into that left knee. Soften the shoulders again. Maybe even close the eyes, reflect into where the tension might be in the body. I just noticed my shoulders were starting to like creep up, like they're trying to whisper sweet little nothings into my ears. Soften them down. Neck, the shoulders aren't really doing much work here. Okay, you're stabilizing through the core so that they don't have to. Lift that left leg up to then push down as your right ankle comes across to your left thigh, piriformis stretch. You can press that right knee away with your right hand or arm as you pull back into that left strap. Keep your hips level, aligned, right under the ribs. And you'll push that left leg out, reach the right leg into the well. And again, make sure, ooh, nice, okay, that left hip didn't just lift up. And once that right leg is reaching down, keeping that tailbone scoop, like activate through the butt cheek. So we can keep that back body, front body connected and lengthening through that front of your hip into the thigh. You can also bend into that left knee, okay, if it feels like it's too intense of a stretch through the hamstrings. But what we're really trying to focus on is that right side hip opening up where the psoas, the hip flexors are. Then you'll press that left leg away, lift the right leg up, bring it back to the foot bar and take that strap off. Alrighty, and from here we bring ourselves up into a seated position, into your mermaid. Now I like to bring my foot bar up for this, just because I enjoy like the deeper side stretches, but so if this doesn't feel good for you, it doesn't resonate, that's fine. Keep your foot bar where it is. Right shin against the shoulder blocks, right hip as close to the carriage as you can get it, left hand onto the foot bar, right arm out to the side, palm up, press out, and now from here forward, leave your left arm long. So as you come home, it's like you're trying to slide your hips under that foot bar. Left arm reaches up and away if your carriage can come home. Okay, so then from this position, that left arm will remain long. 4 of these. Stretch and then counter stretch. After this last, or during this last one, go ahead and rotate to pull your right hand onto that foot bar. You pull with the right, you push with the left hand in this case, okay? So you're still trying to keep that right hip anchored down, but it will probably lift up. Can you start to press the carriage away more with your right shin? So then as you lift up into your mermaid stretches, you're still pushing into the left, pulling with your right, and then diving back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more. And then last one. We press out, okay? Rotate your body to look back towards the right side. We pull the carriage back home, sink your right hip down, grab for either the shoulder blocks or your pegs, and pull with your left, push with your right to kind of rotate the upper body. Oh, good stuff. All right, before we come over to the other side though, with your foot bar up, if it's not up, bring it up into that vertical position. You're gonna scoot your butt towards the back edge of your reformer so that when you lean back against it, make sure that the carriage doesn't scooch too far away from you, but that you still have control over it. Both of your feet are gonna come in front of the shoulder blocks. If that feels like too close or too tight for you, like walk them to a position that you can then bridge yourself up, okay? And then walk the feet in front of the shoulder blocks. Hands behind the head, scoop through the tailbone, wrap those ribs, and your gaze stays like slightly forward towards where the wall and the ceiling meet, kind of above you. Press that carriage out and in. Okay, so working through that back body, but with your back onto the foot bar, right at where like the bra strap line is, or right underneath of your shoulder blade, is like mostly where the tension can be in that thoracic spine. So soften those shoulders down. I know it might be a little like owie, but it's like a hurt so good kind of feeling. Once we come out of this, you might notice that your body can take like a big breath in and out. Let's do 2 more. Last one. From here, bring your hips back down onto the carriage. Let your elbows hook behind the foot bar and legs go long through the shoulder blocks. Lift your gaze, pull the head back if you need to. Maybe put your hands behind your head. And nod the chin forward. Make sure the carriage is home. And then reach forward for those pegs, the shoulder blocks. Pull on them. Stretch through that back line. Maybe give yourself a little wiggle, from side to side. While you're there, grab for your straps, take them off of the pegs, lift the spine up tall, pull the shoulders down the back for chest expansion. Keeping the feet active, we pull and reverse or relax. Pull back from the back line and relax. Keeping the ribs wrapped, tailbone heavy, spine tall, chest open. 4, 8 total here. 3, maybe karate chopping back or palms back, whatever feels comfortable. 2 more. And then last 1. As your arms come forward, keep the spine lifted so that as you're starting to put them back onto the pegs, you're keeping those ribs from collapsing into your belly, but rather keeping that space there on the front line. Grab for the shoulder blocks, pull back, and then lift back up into that extension spine, pulling that chest forward. All right, so then turn yourself around to the other side, mermaid stretch position. With your right hand onto the foot bar, left hand out to the side, left hip is down. We press out and counter stretch. For 4. Keeping your right arm long, reaching up and overhead, pulling away from that left hip from the ribs. These should definitely not be rushed. These side body stretches are basically like helping to open up the suspenders of the body. Okay, so think if the suspenders are too tight, it's either gonna like pull the pants up too high and give you a wedgie, basically like your spine is in the wrong position. Rotate down, so like you might have a sort of like kyphotic spine where you're hunched or you have poor posture. Lift up into your swan mermaid and then dive back down, pushing that carriage all the way out. Lifting up. And then pressing all the way down. Inhaling, shoulders staying soft, exhaling away. 1 more, lift and lower. So then as you are lowering down, walk your right hand towards the middle-ish of the bar. We rotate your body to look towards the left side. As your carriage comes home, sink the left hip into the carriage, reach the left arm over top of the headrest, and then start to rotate to grab your right hand onto the shoulder blocker peg, then press your left hand onto the shoulder blocker peg for that counter twist stretch. Good stuff. Alrighty, so then from here, if your foot bar was up, go ahead and bring it back to its original position. We're still going to be on that 1 red spring, but this is where we come into that kneeling facing forward position. Your left toes are going to stay tucked in front of the left shoulder block, then right ball of the foot stays onto that platform. If you have like control of where the bar is, like you can gear the carriage in or out, then you can rest your shin onto that foot bar. For you to press that carriage out, keep your tailbone scooped underneath and the core is still engaged. Light into the hands, pull up and in, press out and away. Soften those shoulders, keep the chest wide. 2 more. And last one, hold out, then drop your heel of the right foot down and press the carriage out into your splits pose. Now holding that position, some of us always try to like overcompensate, and so try to pull your right hip back and left hip forward. And if you can see my video, like you'll notice how much further that carriage will come in. So try to keep those hips in line as you pull, and then press that right leg long. Bend and stretch. Pull and press. Then last one. As you stay out, walk your hands towards the frame edge. If that feels okay on your body, make sure that right hip is sunken back, your left hip is pulling forward, and you're still keeping that energy into the left foot. Breathe into that space wherever you feel the stretch. For me, it's pretty intense through the left front of my hip. Then as you walk or bend your right knee, walk your hands back up towards the foot bar and we switch to the right side. Right toes tucked, left toes, ball of the foot onto the platform. Shin starts connected towards the foot bar and stays there for the first 4 as you press and sink the hips down. But watch that you're not dumping into the low back like I'm demoing here. Instead, you keep that engagement through the core. Your tailbone stays curled underneath of you. And you can feel those shoulders softening down to help you to lift the head, keeping the chin lifted away from that chest. You'll also feel like left glute holding you upright rather than just letting you sink down. Press out, stay out, and then drive into that left long leg. But now pull the left hip forward, or sorry, right hip forward and left hip back. Feel that oppositional energy maintaining as you bring the carriage forward and then pressing back. So this is all about proprioception. It might be helpful to either have a mirror nearby so you could like look to the right or to the left or out in front of you to be sure that you are in alignment. If you don't have a mirror that's big or that you can move around, videotape yourself so you can feel or see those differences in the body. Sorry, that was our last one. Let's press out, stay out, walk your hands down. If you took that option on the other side, just notice a difference. Try sinking that left hip back. Ooh, keep pushing through that right leg though and sink the right hip forward. Bend the right knee, walk the hands up. Left knee, walk the hands up. Woo, rights and lefts, they're hard. All right, so then you'll step down, back away from your reformer. I'm gonna move my box a little bit wider out to the side. And then from here, we're coming into like an inner thigh stretch. And with your right foot in front of the shoulder block, your right hand onto the carriage, we press that carriage out and away. If it feels like you'd like a little bit more, bring the carriage home, and from there you press out and bring your left hand with you to the opposite side of the reformer. You'll move it back up to the foot bar as you come home, keeping both arms and legs long. So then one more time, pressing out. And then keeping your left hand on the foot bar, hook under the foot bar with your right hand. Keep pressing out and in, but rotating, oh yes, through that whole torso. So your right shoulder drops down towards the spring wall when you press that carriage out. Make sure that there's a soft bend into both of your knees for 2 more. And then last one. All right, bringing that carriage home. We bring our left foot, so both feet down first. Your right foot is pretty close towards the edge of the carriage and your left foot comes in front of that shoulder block. Left hand is onto the foot bar so that when we press the carriage out, we lift the right arm up into that extension spine. And then as the carriage comes forward, we're gonna pull towards that hamstring stretch. Reach out and away. Exhale, pull forward and in. Ooh. 2 more. That's 2. Last one. Now reach both hands forward, challenging that balance. And then that left foot is going to step back towards the platform, bring the left knee on top of the carriage, and step the right foot pretty close, if not to the outside, or in line to the outside of the reformer. So you're going to lift the left knee then, once you've got your right foot in place, push the carriage out, and find a hip flexor stretch, curling that tailbone underneath, and feeling, I think I said right hip flexor, I meant left hip flexor stretch. As you pull the carriage home, straighten your right leg. Then push the carriage out, bend into your right leg. Finding your sort of like cow spine, not quite extension, more like neutral spine, and then curling into your cat spine. One more. And then exhale, back home. Okay, you'll bring that right knee back down onto the carriage. And we'll work our way over to the other side. Work our way, walk our way, whichever. Okay, so let me pull this box out to the side. We set ourselves up for that inner thigh stretch. So your right foot is onto the ground, right hand is onto the foot bar, left foot in front of the shoulder block closest toward you, left hand onto that carriage. We press and pull here for about 4 to 5. Getting used to the motion so that when we add the twist of your foot bar, our body is already opened up into it. Remember, you have the option to walk your right hand across to the wooden frame. 2 more. And last one. So now right hand walks forward, left hand grabs under. You continue pressing that carriage out, but you dive, that left shoulder underneath and pull the carriage back home. 3, push into your right hand, pull with your left hand. 2, drop the left shoulder towards the spring wheel, right shoulder towards the ceiling. And last 1. Carriage comes home, right hand slides towards you and stays onto the foot bar. As you turn towards the back of the room here, push that right foot into the shoulder block, then lift the left arm up as you push the carriage out, opening up through that left hip flexor all the way up to the fingertips. Then as the carriage comes home, reach that left arm forward, pull the hips back, and feel now right hamstring calf, and then also low back on that left side. Press away, blossom that body open, pull home. Keep that body lifted. Okay, so we're not just collapsing forward to reach forward just for the hell of it. 2. We are still trying to engage and pull that core up and in. And last. Oh, so good. Last 1. Work on your balance here. Soft bend into your left and right knee. Ooh, and then reach both hands forward. Maybe wag your tail from side to side. And take both hands onto the headrest. Step your right toes onto the platform. Press the knee onto the carriage. Walk your left foot forward. And then when you're ready to press the carriage out, you find your piriformis stretch not by sticking your butt up, but by curling your butt underneath. Think of Supermaning that carriage away from you to feel that stretch through that right hip flexor. You pull the carriage in into your, cat spine. Press out into your neutral spine. Curl in, cat spine. Press out, bending into that left knee. Neutral spine. 2 more. And last 1. Alrighty. Okay. So that was a full body kind of stretch here through those stretches on basically just 1 red spring. So that's really all you need. Give yourself some wrist rolls, also like a pat on your back for getting through those 30 minutes of movement about, and make sure you're giving the body the time that it needs to not only strengthen itself, but then also to lengthen it. Usually in Pilates you do both, but having a specialized class for that stretching can help you to feel more open through the tissue in general through the body. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this class. Let me know in the comments below what you're looking for, maybe what you want more of, and I'll move with you guys later. Bye.